So happy to see you all here today. Welcome to our third annual Bishop Loughlin White Coat Ceremony. I'm glad that we're finally able to gather together after all this time for this special event. I'm happy to see both our in-person students and guests, and I'm so happy and grateful that those who are able to join us from home are viewing as well. I think we can all agree that this is a special year, and there hasn't been a time when understanding science has been as important as it is right now during our current pandemic. So I'd like to begin the ceremony by taking a moment to thank all of our Loughlin family members and alum who serve our communities as medical professionals. Thank you to all of the doctors, nurses, EMTs, and healthcare workers for your dedication and service. You're an inspiration to us all. I think that'd be an appropriate appreciate healthcare workers, especially at this biomedical science event. So it's with that perspective of the current situation of the world, I'd like to spend a few minutes looking back with our biomed seniors who are sitting here in front of us on their journey that led up to this moment right now. Our school's biomed journey actually began even before they started attending Loughlin, about 5 years ago, when Loughlin committed to bringing the dynamic Project Leapway program to our school. Once we made this decision, there were many steps that had to take place. There were 2 new STEM labs that had to be built. So room 225, the biomed lab, and the 4th floor engineering lab did not exist up until 5 years ago. And I think a lot of students nowadays don't realize that they're that new. So once that took place, there were many other steps. So your biomed teachers, Ms. Mark, Ms. Randall, I'm so happy you're here today, and I had to get formally trained to teach the Project Leapway curriculum and get trained in all of the tools and sophisticated equipment that you guys get to use. And we had to travel to different places, like Texas, Georgia, Ohio, and Colorado for the required training. And I believe that we had to do some virtual training this summer. If I'm not mistaken, for HBS, there's always new updates to the curriculum, new changes to keep things relevant and dynamic. So we'll be doing that too. But I think each one of you students, even though you're in my class right now, you've been taught by Ms. Lamarck, Ms. Randall, either 1 year or maybe 2 full years. So I think it'd be nice to give them a little appreciation for this. All right, so as you can all see, it's been a labor of love to bring Project Leapway to Loughlin. And in addition to us teachers, I think it's important to appreciate the support of many, including our administration, Brother Dennis, Mr. Bowen, and Ms. Gossigan, who are all here today. So a little applause for them. Our Board of Governors, our generous alum. In fact, there was one specific alumnus who actually donated the lab coats for all of you students because he thought it was so important for us to take part in this special event. And while I'm giving thanks, I'd also like to thank the deans. I know Mr. Montez has been our tech support for this whole week trying to get us ready. And Ms. Freeman actually even brought a lab coat to a student who's remote, wasn't able to pick it up. So thank you to our deans as well. I know you guys missed their Howard on the computer now, making sure this live stream is taking place in this Garner in the back, so I thank them. And there's one more group I'd like to thank today, and that is all of the parents of our biomedical science recipients, some of whom are in the audience today. I know that it's not easy to have a senior in high school during the pandemic, especially one that's also applying to college, as you guys all are, while you're taking college-level biomed coursework. So it's not been easy. So I think all of you students should especially show some appreciation to your parents right now. It's hard to hear the support that we have in this room with so few students. It's a nice, intimate event, but we really do appreciate and support everybody who's here for us for this. So thank you. And luckily, it's not just the adults who we're appreciative of. I think the success of our biomed program is in large part due to the commitment of our biomed students, in particular, the 19 young men and women who are honored today in this white coat ceremony. I am proud of their willingness to step up and take challenging biomed STEM coursework. It was 3 years ago that most of these students enrolled in course 1, which is called Principles of Biomedical Science. They were eager to try something new in science, new and exciting in the science world. During course 1, I'm sure you guys remember PBS, they had to solve the case of the mysterious death of our fictitious victim. I assume all of you remember our victim, or the person in the case who we found deceased. Do you guys remember? What's her name? Anna Garcia, of course. We revisit her in every course one, and unfortunately she's found every year and she's died in a different way. But the skills that the students have learned have benefited them and will help others. They visited her crime scene as CSIs and brought evidence back to the lab. They became toxicologists and blood spatter analysts. They ran DNA through gel electrophoresis for the first time. They became hematologists and endocrinologists to learn more about the relevant disorders like sickle cell anemia and diabetes, until finally at the end of the course they solved Anna's case. And that was just course one. Then they moved, many of them also took course two, human body systems, where they solved a series of cases using skills from course one, while learning brand new skills. For example, they became forensic anthropologists and radiologists, while expanding their knowledge of anatomy and physiology as they built the human body from ground up using their anatomy and clay mannequins. And now, in their current course as seniors, medical interventions, they started off by becoming epidemiologists in their first case and stopped the spread of the bacterial meningitis epidemic on a college campus, learning the value of various forms of intervention. They also recently learned about different types of vaccines, including the messenger RNA vaccines like the ones that have been designed to prevent COVID-19. So how's that for relevance for today's crisis? As you can see, these students have been challenged in many ways and have accomplished much. They have studied college-level content and have learned real-world skills. So today we are taking a moment to honor all of the effort and dedication of our biomedical science students. So now that I've brought the audience at home and in the building up to date, the rest of my message is to you, my biomedical science students. You are the third cohort of students to complete the biomed sequence. To you, my message is one of confidence and pride, especially during these challenging times. I am confident that you will use your biomed skills and knowledge to find a college and career path that is meaningful to you. Whether your passion is to follow a medical path, a STEM path, or something completely different, I feel confident that you will use the discipline and organizational skills from your coursework to succeed in whatever you do. Know that I am proud of all of you, and I look forward to hearing more about the bright futures that lay ahead. But in the meantime, you have the remainder of this school year ahead of you, and you also will have a chance to wear your soon-to-be-received white lab coats. So without further ado, I'd like to move on to the next part of the ceremony and hear from a couple of our medical intervention students to share some of their personal experience in the biomed program. So I'd first like to ask Shady Balagoon to come to the podium at this time.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, administration, and fellow medical intervention students. My name is Shay Ballroom, and I'm a senior at Loughlin. I've taken numerous science courses during my education, but the practically delayed biomed courses at Loughlin have had the strongest effect on me. I'm actually a transfer here at Loughlin, and I came in the 11th grade, and the practically delayed classes I've taken at Loughlin after I came here has taught me so much versus the previous regular science courses I've taken. I remember the first time I was in the classroom, I came for a Saturday, it was Halloween, and I was in Ms. Randall's principal's biomedical science course, and we were learning about Hannah, and we just got her autopsy report, and after we finished the paper, because she gave me a paper to do too, and then after she gave told me I did, so that was really fun. And that was even before I was a student here at Loughlin. And since I came here, I love how these courses introduced me to many biomedical careers who are still teaching me skills that I will be able to use in my college life and future career. I want to be a sports medicine doctor in the future, but these courses can be helpful even if you don't want to do that. I have taken both courses, Principle of Biomedical Science and now Medical Intervention, and I feel they have provided me with a strong foundation for my future science courses in college and beyond. During our biomed coursework, we have done many labs and assignments that have actively shaped my knowledge and experience for solving real-world medical problems. My favorite part of the biomed experience has been our case studies in MI, where we were playing the role of geneticists and genetic counselors. We were diagnosing and learning about diseases through specific cases, and we were also helping the families to navigate through the trying times of waiting for the results and also interpreting the results. This has been my favorite so far because I love getting new knowledge while also being able to use my problem solving skills in my career as a doctor. Additionally, I enjoy being able to see how genetics plays a part in everything we are as humans. As I'm leaving for college this year, I believe that the skills I have learned in these classes will help me and put me ahead in my future science courses. Due to the wealth of practical knowledge that we have gained, the various health professions that we have learned about, as well as the insight into potential pathways to achieve each profession in the medical field. I'm grateful for all that I've learned in these classes, and I'm excited to finish my journey here at Loughlin, having these classes under my belt. Thank you.
Thank you, Shady, for sharing your experiences. At this point, I would like to ask Jasmine Hooker to come to the stage to also share her experiences.
Hi. Good afternoon, parents, teachers, administrations, and my fellow medical intervention students. My name is Jasmine, and I'm a senior of Bishop Loughlin. I've been on the Project Lead the Way Biomed program for 2 years now, and it definitely has provided me with a vast amount of information and skills that I will continue to use throughout my life and career. Before taking these courses, I had already decided I wanted to do something in the medical field, but I really didn't know what that was. Honestly, I was just kind of bouncing everywhere. I wanted to be a forensic scientist, and then after that, I kind of just went blank. However, due to these courses, I was able to see the different professions that the medical field might offer, and that really helped me discover the medical path that I wanted to take. Since last year, biomed has been one of my favorite classes to attend for the day. I guess you could kind of call it like a relaxer. Thank you, Mr. Riddle. In the class, me and my peers were tasked with having a full hands-on approach as we learned our biomedical skills, which I really appreciated. And we were able to perform many labs and test and analyze and record data for the case that we were solving. My favorite lab in this class was definitely the stomach concept lab that we did. We were tasked with finding different components of what might have been in a certain food, like lipids or starch in crackers or applesauce. From this lab, we then actually began learning about diabetes, which I definitely appreciated because before then I didn't have much knowledge on what diabetes might do to the body, how to diagnose it, different treatments, lifestyle, and possible risks that it holds for those who are diagnosed with it, especially because I do have family members who have been diagnosed with diabetes, so it was a nice insight. Unfortunately, however, due to the current circumstances that we are living in, I was not able to come to school and really get the same hands-on experience that I got this year in medical interventions, but that didn't stop me from actually enjoying the class as a whole and continuing to hone in on my biomed skills. Thanks to these courses, I have decided to take the path of pre-med or pre-nursing so that I can become a nurse anesthetist and make it easier for thousands of people who go through major and minor procedures every day. Thanks to Loughlin and the biomedical program, I believe that the skills that I have learned throughout the last 2 years will most definitely help me in my next journey through college. And I feel that I'm going to be a lot more confident going through that because they gave me a head start and I'm not going anymore. So for that, I would just like to say thank you to everyone and
Thank you for sharing, Jasmine. Next, I would like to ask Brother Dennis to come to the podium to share a few thoughts for our guest.
Wow. You know, this is what makes it all worthwhile. Your parents, to underscore what Mr. Santiago said, you know, I am grateful to you because you entrusted your son or your daughter to our care. And what does that mean? Well, I can promise the young people and you parents that it means that Loughlin is committed to providing the best and the broadest educational opportunity that we can. The reason we do it is because you're worth it. And we don't do it alone. We do it because we stand on the shoulders of people who've gone before us, and they are invested in your success. Who are they? For our STEM program to have taken off, we needed people who had means and a desire to help step forward. We were blessed with Art and Pat Ryan, Jim and Tony Arenga, who made a commitment to this program so that it could take root and grow. We're grateful to them. Today, the white coats are being provided by Donald Judge because he believes in you and what you're doing. So for you guys and girls sitting in front of me today, I want you to remember that there are people who have come to life, appreciate what they receive, appreciate you for what you're doing, and somewhere in the future, I hope you would be able to do the same. And the other thing that makes today so special is that I look and I see who our keynote speaker is, Dr. Loughlin Constantine. She is the third medical doctor who is a graduate of Loughlin who's going to be speaking at this event. And I am so proud to realize that Loughlin students continue to do well. And they come back to share with you their knowledge, their experience, and most of all, their encouragement. But I hope they become a witness for you to say, I can be like them. I can do that. I can achieve. Because we in the Loughlin community believe you can, you have, and you will continue to do so. So parents, guys and girls, congratulations. We're proud of you.
Thank you, Brother Dennis, for your special message. Next, I'd like to introduce, taking a step back. All right, at this point, I would ask Ms. Lamar to come up to provide a special introduction for one of our favorite former students we are very happy to have with us today as our virtual keynote speaker.
hardworking pays off. All of our
Hello. Sorry, I couldn't hear anything beforehand, so I'm not sure if everyone can hear me. But good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to start off by saying congratulations to all of the students. When I first heard about all the great labs and activities that you took part of as a part of the STEM program, I can't lie, I must admit I was very jealous. But I was also in awe of all the hard work and dedication that you needed to commit to complete such a program. I'm truly honored to be back here speaking with you today. I still remember my time at Bishop Loughlin, and though we didn't have an amazing program like this, I can honestly say that my time there helped me not only to shape me as a person, but also as a doctor. And though I couldn't hear Miss Lamarck, I'm sure she did an awesome job of introducing me, but I also wanted to show you some pictures to show you kind of where I've come and who I am. Just gonna share my screen. So these are just some pictures. I know there were some pictures up on the screen before. These are some just personal pictures of me during my Loughlin days, me and my best friend. Some other people from the class of 2009. I also wanted to show a picture from my white coat ceremony. It was such an exciting time. This is me and my parents at my medical school graduation. also very exciting. And this is me during my residency orientation, so slightly longer white coat, but still the same level of excitement. So though some people may call me Dr. Confident now, to many I'm still just Gladine, the girl that was in those high water pants in the Loughlin uniform. I was born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn, a child of Haitian immigrants who just always wanted to be a doctor. And though my parents probably initially started planting those seeds about medicine, I can honestly say that the desire was always very true in my heart from a young age. I can vividly remember being the one to take my parents' temperatures when they were sick, or reminding my mother every year that I had to go to the doctor. But there was also a time that I was just like you guys, sitting in front of Miss McKeever, begging her not to make me take physics, even though I was better for it. I was just a high school student who loved science and who enjoyed helping people, especially the people who lived and worked in communities like mine. As a child of immigrant parents who weren't doctors, I didn't have a great sense of what was waiting for me on my journey to becoming a doctor. Leaving Loughlin and going to college, I was lucky enough to be surrounded by people who supported and believed in me. However, transitioning to medical school, it was definitely a challenge. Though I knew and had shadowed doctors in the past, I didn't have parents who knew the ins and outs of medicine. I didn't go to an Ivy League school, and I didn't know how to talk the talk like some of my other classmates did. And initially, I will be honest, it intimidated me. I remember taking my first medical school exam. I was scared, but I went to all my classes, I reviewed my lectures, I sat down, and I took the test. And at the end, all I can think was, what in the world just happened? I went home to my parents' house for a long weekend. I can remember that. And in the middle of the weekend, while I was relaxing, my grades came in and I had barely passed. It ruined my whole weekend. I went back to my apartment. I was sad. I was dejected. And all these negative thoughts started rushing to my head. I was like, how did I even get here? How did I even get into medical school? I'm the only Black person in my entire year. Like, I have a responsibility. I cannot fail. And I started thinking, I must be the dumbest person in this entire class. What am I going to do? Then the weekend ended. I went to my exam review and I found out not only was I not the only person who didn't do as well as they had imagined, but a lot of my Ivy League attending white counterparts struggled just as much as I did. I realized that though my parents weren't doctors and I didn't go to an Ivy League school, I was just as smart and as capable as any other person there. I worked just as hard and I deserved to be there. I realized that my past experiences had prepared me and it had instilled in me the drive that has led to my success. Now, I bring up this story to say that as you grow through life and continue your education, you may be met with challenges and you may feel the temptation to minimize what you have done. But always know that you have been given the building blocks of greatness, both through programs like these that give you the education needed to move through the different levels of schooling, but also through supportive mentors like Mr. Santiago, who care and who believe in you and instill a pride that should never, ever be diminished. Remember the challenges you had during this program, but even more importantly, remember how you overcame them. Those challenges, you got to the most important part, the end of the road, and know that challenges may occur in your journey through medicine, through health professions, or wherever you decide to go in the future. And know that you can and will overcome them and make it to the other side. I would like to leave you with this final quote from the poem Invictus. It is, "I am the master of my fate, and I am the captain of my soul." You control your destiny. You can do whatever it is you set your mind to. Know that this is only the start of your incredible journeys. You're invincible, and do not let anyone dim your incredibly bright lights. Thank you.
Wow. First off, I'd like to thank Ms. Lamar for that lovely introduction. And then I'd especially love to thank Dr. Compton for such a powerful speech and such insight into her journey and for sharing that with us and how proud we are of her as well. I wish she could hear me. I hope she can, and hopefully she'll get to hear it later on if she doesn't hear it now. And in addition, a great appreciation, we'd like to send her some Loughlin swag that I know she will wear with pride. So we are very grateful, very appreciative of her. So, we've almost arrived at the moment of truth. Shortly, each medical intervention student will receive his or her white lab coat. It is my hope that these lab coats will symbolize to our students an affirmation of their continued success in their scientific and other academic endeavors. Additionally, I hope that the coats will remind them of the responsibility of providing support to those in need, especially during these trying times. So, I would like to first award the white lab coats to our students who are with us remotely. So we have 4 students who are in the medical interventions class who are not here in the auditorium, but they are joining us remotely, and they will be showcased as each of their names are called. So the first student that we will be honoring, her name is Alicia Moraine. So I'm hoping we'll be able to see Alicia in the spotlight, as she is. And at this point, Alicia, all right. Very proud of you. Our next recipient's name is Gabrielle Perpignan. So we can now turn to Gabrielle. Hello, Gabrielle. Congratulations, Gabrielle. We're very proud of you. Our next recipient is Tanea White. There she is. All right, Tanea, congratulations. And our final remote recipient is Diamond Wilkinson. Congratulations, all of our medical intervention students who have received their coats. At this point, we're going to do a little bit of a screen, or not a screen, but a stage change. We're going to prepare the stage for our recipients who are here in the auditorium so that they'll be able to receive their coats. So just give us a few seconds to get the round of applause. These coats have been waiting for you guys for quite a few months. Normally we have the white coat ceremony at the end of the first quarter. So usually right in the first week of November would be when we have our white coat ceremony, having completed successfully our first quarter of work. But we had to wait a little bit longer due to the pandemic. But it's a joy that you guys are able to participate in this today. So I'm happy that we've reached this moment. All right, I think we're all right. All right, so the white coat recipients whose names I will call will be asked to come across the stage on this end, and then walk across to where the coats are, at which point you'll be able to don your coat, and then travel over to the backdrop for your photo shoot moments as well. All right, so in alphabetical order, our first recipient for the honorary white lab coat is Alexandra Arsenega.
always said, don't hide the L. We have to see the L.
Let them pull the mask down for the photo.
Huh?
If you want to, you can pull the mask down for the photo, just so we can see who you are. And there we go.
Right, congratulations, Loughlin. Our next recipient is one of our gentlemen, Jaden Augustin. Next up is Oluwaseyi Balogun.
Ms. Garner?
Next up, our next recipient is Kayla Crooks. Congratulations to Kayla. Kayla is followed by her twin sister, Kyla Crooks. Congratulations to Kyla. Our next recipient is Jose Filio Jr. Congratulations to Jose. Our next recipient is Jasmine Hooker. Congratulations to Jasmine. Our next recipient is Elena Huete. Congratulations to Elena. Our next recipient is Cartel Johnson. Congratulations to Cartel. Yes. Next up is Alana Lastique. Congratulations Thanks to Alana. Our next recipient is Kiana McBee. Congratulations to Kiana. Our next recipient is Ashley Orellana. Congratulations to Ashley. Our next recipient is Barbara Ortiz. Congratulations to Barbara. Our next recipient is Jordan St. Bill. Congratulations to Jordan. And last but not least, our final recipient of the evening is Sean Stone. Congratulations to Sean. So we've almost reached the end of our ceremony, but not quite. Now that all have received their lab coats, it is customary that an oath be stated by the recipients. If this was medical school, as was in the case with Dr. Confident, the students would have been stating a Hippocratic oath where they promise above all to do no harm to their patients. So since we're not medical students yet, today we have a variation on that with statements that are more meaningful to our biomed students. I would ask the recipients to come to the stage at this time so that they can get lined up properly to speak their biomedical oath. At this point, I would ask the biomed white lab coat recipients to loudly speak their oath.
Will strive to succeed in my biomedical science career to the best of my ability by making it possible and by working hard.
I am open-minded to the theories of others and treat my classmates with respect.
I promise to work for a better world where science and technology are used in socially responsible ways.
I will not use my education for any purpose intended to harm human beings or the environment.
I will strive to present my biomedical classwork accurately and honestly, even when my experimental results are not what I can hope they would be.
I will continue to work together with my colleagues and partners in the field of
Loud.
I will strive to apply my knowledge of science in ways that are helpful and others in my school and family.
I will work to embody the principles of my Loughlin education, bringing reality to the grace.
Enter to learn, lead to serve.
This formally concludes our third annual White Coat ceremony. Thank you for all of your support of this program and for the support of our students. Recipients and guests, feel free to take some photo ops. You can socially distance and have the backdrop laid out for the rest of the evening. Also, anyone that is at home, I appreciate that you guys were able to view us today. Thank you for that. Finally, we have, since we're not able to have a reception, we have a small snack bag in the room which we're about to wheel out, available for both students and guests to take so that you can have a little treat on this special day. So thank you all once again. Thank you. Just take your time, guys. Socially distance.